If your team says they run MEDDPICC, but your CRM is still full of vibes, I got news. You don't have a methodology, you have a collection of acronyms. Today we're going to compare two of the most popular frameworks in modern B2B, SPICE versus MEDDPICC, and more importantly, when to use each, what each one is actually good at, and how to combine them so your discovery calls create momentum and your pipeline becomes forecastable. Hey team, welcome back to Structured to Scale, powered by Elefante RevOps. Our mission is to help growth-focused leaders scale with clarity, systems, and confidence. Here's the problem. Most sales teams pick one methodology and then try to use it for everything. But SPICE and MEDDPICC solve different problems. SPICE is a diagnostic framework. It helps you understand the buyer's reality and anchor the conversation around impact. MEDDPICC is a qualification framework. It helps you de-risk complex deals and prevent happy ears forecasting. So if you've ever wondered, should my team be running SPICE or MEDDPICC? The answer is usually yes, but not in the way you think. By the end of this video, you'll know what SPICE is best for, what MEDDPICC is best for, the biggest mistakes teams make with both, and a simple way to run SPICE in calls and MEDDPICC in pipeline without doubling your admin work. Let's start with SPICED. SPICE is a framework popularized by Winning by Design. It stands for S, situation, P, pain, I, impact, CE, critical event, and D, decision. Here's the vibe. SPICE is designed to make discovery feel like a professional diagnosis, not an interrogation, and definitely not a pitch fest. Think of SPICED as how do we uncover what matters to the buyer in their words, with their math, in their timeline. Let's go through each piece quickly, but practically. Situation, what's true today? What's the environment? What systems, people, and processes are in play? This is where you earn credibility by showing you did your homework. Pain, where is friction happening? What's broken, slow, risky, expensive, or inconsistent? And what does that friction cost in time, money, risk, or missed growth? Impact. This is where SPICE separates itself. Impact is the measurable outcome the buyer wants, not they're frustrated, not they want efficiency. Impact is what changes by how much and why it matters. If you can't quantify impact, your value prop becomes a vibe, and vibes don't get budget approval. Critical event. This is the why now. By when do they need the impact? And what happens if they miss that date? Critical event turns we should do this into we have to do this. Decision. How will they decide? Who's involved? What criteria matter? What's the process, timeline, and next step? So, SPICE is awesome for discovery because it produces a clean story. Here's what's happening, here's what's broken, here's what success looks like, here's why it's urgent, and here's how they'll decide. In other words, SPICE makes it hard to hide vague pipeline. Now, SPICE has a superpower and a blind spot. The superpower, it keeps the conversation customer-centric and impact-focused. The blind spot, SPICE alone doesn't always force the enterprise reality. Things like procurement, paper process, internal champions, or competitive displacement, those can slip through if you're not intentional. And that's where MEDDPICC shines. MEDDPICC is a qualification framework built for complex B2B deals, especially enterprise. It stands for M, metrics, E, economic buyer, D, decision criteria, D, decision process, P, paper process, I, identify pain, C, champion, C, competition. The vibe here is different. MEDDPICC is less about how to run the call and more about how to de-risk the deal. It's a checklist designed to answer, do we actually have a winnable opportunity here? Or are we just emotionally attached to a big logo? Let's break it down, but in plain language. Metrics. What measurable outcomes justify buying? This is similar to SPICE impact, but MEDDPICC pushes you to quantify the value case early, not it'd be nice, but this moves revenue, cost, risk, or time in a measurable way. Economic buyer. Who can improve the spend? or at least influence the budget owner, because enterprise deals don't close just because the user loves you. Decision criteria. What do they care about when choosing? Security, integrations, compliance, ROI, implementation speed, vendor stability, whatever it is, you need to know it. Decision process. What are the steps from here to a signature? Who needs to review? What meetings happen? What committees exist? What gets signed when? Paper process. This is the part most teams ignore until it's too late. Procurement, legal, MSAs, vendor onboarding, security reviews, red lines. This is where deals go to die slowly at the worst possible time. Identify pain. Yes, MEDDPICC includes pain too, but MEDDPICC pain isn't there annoyed. Is the pain strong enough to drive change through organizational friction? Champion. Do you have someone inside who will sell this internally when you're not in the room? Not someone who likes you, someone with influence who has something to gain by driving the project. Competition. What else are they considering? A competitor, an internal build, or the most dangerous competitor of all? Doing nothing. So, MEDDPICC is great for forecast accuracy, deal inspection, and identifying what's missing before you waste a quarter chasing a mirage. But MEDDPICC has its own blind spot. MEDDPICC can become a box-checking exercise. Teams ask MEDDPICC questions too early or too bluntly, and discovery turns into, so, who's the economic buyer? Which is a great way to make the buyer say, why are you interviewing me like I'm applying for a loan? So MEDDPICC is powerful, but it's not always the best front-end conversation structure. Which brings us to the real question, SPICE versus MEDDPICC. Who wins? Answer, neither. They're different tools. Let's compare them head to head. Here's the cleanest way to think about it. SPICE is for discovery quality, customer impact, and building momentum. MEDDPICC is for deal qualification, risk management, and forecast integrity. SPICE answers, why should they buy anything at all? MEDDPICC answers, can we actually win this deal and how? SPICE is the engine that creates a compelling narrative. MEDDPICC is the dashboard that tells you whether the engine is healthy. Now let's get more concrete with 3 comparisons. Comparison 1, buyer experience. SPICE is naturally buyer friendly because it follows their story. MEDDPICC can feel seller centric if you treat it like an interrogation checklist. Comparison 2, timing. SPICE is strongest early, first call, second call. MEDDPICC becomes essential as the deal gets complex, multiple stakeholders, procurement, committees. Comparison 3, outcome. SPICE produces clarity and urgency. MEDDPICC produces confidence and forecastability. And this is why most teams struggle. They try to do MEDDPICC in the first call, or they do SPICED and then never translate it into a qualification process. So here's the play. Use SPICED in the conversation. Use MEDDPICC in the pipeline. Let me show you how. Here's a simple implementation that doesn't create admin hell. Step 1. Run the call with SPICED. Start with situation and pain, summarize, move to impact, tie it to critical event, end with decision. That gives you a clean buyer-centered storyline. Step 2. After the call, translate the SPICED output into MEDDPICC fields. Here's the mapping. SPICED impact, MEDDPICC metrics. If the buyer says, we need to cut onboarding time by 30%, that's a metric. SPICE decision, MEDDPICC decision process plus decision criteria. If they tell you who decides and what matters, you log it as process and criteria. SPICE critical event, MEDDPICC paper process planning. If there's a deadline, you back into procurement and legal timelines. You stop being surprised by security review takes 6 weeks. SPICE pain, MEDDPICC identify pain. But there's the upgrade. MEDDPICC pain should be pain without consequence, not pain with annoyance. Then you intentionally fill the MEDDPICC specific gaps that SPICE doesn't force. Economic buyer. You don't ask who's the economic buyer on minute 7. You earn the right. You can ask it like this. To make sure we don't waste your time, how does budget approval usually work for a project like this? Champion. You can ask, who else cares about this outcome as much as you do? Or if you were to bring one person into the next conversation, who would make this move faster? Competition. You can ask, what else are you evaluating? Or if you didn't choose a vendor, what's the alternative? Internal build, stay put, or patchwork? Paper process. You can ask late stage, when a project is approved, what are the steps to get a contract signed here? That's the hybrid. SPICE keeps the buyer engaged. MEDDPICC keeps the deal real. If you want this to be scalable, here's the cheat code. Use AI to generate SPICE summary from the call transcript, then prompt it to output the MEDDPICC fields that are missing. Now you're coaching process, not vibes. So here's the takeaway. SPICE is how you run discovery that creates urgency and momentum. MEDDPICC is how you qualify enterprise deals so your forecast stops lying to you. If you're early stage or selling into mid-market, start with SPICED as your core discovery structure. If you're enterprise or multi-stakeholder, you need MEDDPICC to de-risk deals. But don't use it like a blunt instrument. Run SPICE in the conversation, then inspect with MEDDPICC. If this clarified things, hit subscribe. We break down growth systems every week here on Structured to Scale. If you want help operationalizing this, call scorecards, CRM fields, deal review cadence, and a repeatable discovery playbook, go to elefanterevops.com. Now, I want to hear from you. Is your bigger problem right now discovery quality or forecast accuracy? Drop it in the comments, and as always, scale with clarity. My name is Colton Rodriguez from Elefante RevOps. Keep doing it big. Bye for now.